Have you ever had an experience that, although it hurt so much at the moment, looking back now, you are glad it happened? Well, a woman once faced the same. Let's see how she handled it. Welcome to our channel where we bring you the most amazing and inspiring stories from around the globe. All these stories have one thing in common. They will teach you valuable life lessons that will make you a better person. Now let's get into today's story. Once upon a time in a village, there was a young and beautiful woman. Her name was Sarah, and she was getting married to the love of her life. They had planned their big day for months, and everything was perfect. But on the day of her wedding, she heard something that made her entire world come crashing down. While getting ready in her bridal suite, she heard voices. She couldn't quite make out what they were saying, but it was clear that they belonged to her groom and her sister Mary. With trembling hands, she went to the window and peeked outside. What she saw made her blood boil. Her fiancé, Mark, was kissing her sister passionately. Betrayed and heartbroken, she slid down the window in her wedding dress and ran away. Sarah walked along the road in misery. People stared at her as she passed by. She didn't care. She felt humiliated. How could she face them after all the money they had spent on her wedding? Tears streamed down her face as she walked. She didn't know where she was going. Her friend followed her. She didn't care. She just wanted to be alone. She wanted to die. And the best place to do that, she thought, was by the river. She walked until she reached the riverbank and sat down. Soon the moon would rise and no one would see what happened next. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes, waiting for death to take her. Her friend still by her side telling her not to. Just then, she heard a small voice. A little boy was crying and calling out for help. He had been abandoned and left to die by her mother because of economic difficulties. Quickly, Sarah opened her eyes. She looked around but couldn't see anyone. Then she saw a pair of little feet in the water as the boy was almost drowning. The boy was trying to stop himself from drowning. Without thinking twice, Sarah jumped into the water. She carried the boy in her arms and wrapped him in her dress to dry him off. As Sarah walked back to the village with the boy in her arms, she thought about how lucky he was to have been saved. If she had died, who would have cared for him? In that moment, she knew she had to do something to help him. At first, she thought about leaving him at an orphanage, but the thought of him living a life without love and care made her sad. So she decided to keep him with her. Sarah returned to her village and became the mother of the abandoned child. It was hard, but she was determined to give the boy all the love and care he needed. Years went by and the boy grew up to be a happy and healthy child. She named him David and brought him up single-handedly. She worked hard to provide for him, and never once did she regret her decision. David was a bright and curious child. He loved learning and was always eager to explore the world around him. As he grew older, he became a responsible and caring young man. He helped his mother with household chores and was always there to lend a listening ear when she needed it. One day, David told his mother that he wanted to become a pilot. He had always dreamed of flying planes and wanted to make his dream come true. Sarah was proud of her son and supported him in his endeavors. She knew that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. When David was 25 years old, he got his pilot's license, and after getting paid, he bought his first plane. He was so happy that he could finally fly. Every weekend, he would take his mother on joy rides around the countryside. They would soar through the clouds and enjoy the beautiful views together. Sarah was grateful to have such a loving and caring son. She knew that she had done a good job raising him. One day, David suggested that they should go on a vacation to a foreign country. His mother had always wanted to visit that place, and he thought it would be a nice surprise for her. Sarah was excited and agreed immediately. When they arrived at their destination, they checked into their hotel and started exploring the city. They visited all the famous landmarks and enjoyed the local cuisine. One afternoon, while walking through the streets, Sarah noticed a familiar face. She couldn't believe her eyes. It was Mark. He looked older now and was dressed in rags. He was begging on the street corner, trying to make money. Sarah felt a pang of sadness for the man she once loved, but she quickly shook it off. She had moved on from him long ago and didn't want to waste any more time thinking about him. As they continued their vacation, Sarah and David had a wonderful time. They made new friends, tried new foods, and created lasting memories. When it was time to go home, Sarah felt refreshed and rejuvenated. She had a new perspective on life and was grateful for all the blessings she had. Looking back on her life, she realized that the hurtful things that had happened to her had actually redirected her path to her true purpose. If she hadn't been betrayed on her wedding day, she wouldn't have met David and wouldn't have experienced the joys of motherhood. The pain she had endured had turned into the defining moment of her life, shaping her into the strong, compassionate woman she was today. So remember, even in the darkest moments of your life, there is always hope for a brighter future. Just like Sarah, you can turn your pain into purpose and find happiness in unexpected places. And that's all for today's story. Leave a comment below with the lesson you learned from this story. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to World of Wonderful Stories so you can be the first to know when we upload a new video. Thank you for watching and staying tuned to World of Wonderful Stories.